Hello everyone, it's the Peregr1ne here and welcome to the third episode of Peregr1ne Talks. Today we'll be discussing a topic that isn't on nearly everyone's mind at the moment. I can't help but notice on the comments section for quite a few of my videos, either on Reddit or the YouTube comments, that many people seem to think that archers are either easy or will just ruin the game for melee players. Now I have covered archer balance in my previous Peregr1ne Talks episode, but apparently I put too much focus on archer versus archer, according to at least one person, and it's likely that other people think the same. Whether I did is up for debate. I personally think I put equal focus on the two, but I figured I would make this video anyway, discussing purely archer versus melee. So the question is whether or not ranged weapons are fair in a game which mostly features melee combat. Well, it depends on the ranged weapon in question. As an archer myself, I'm not blind to the fact that there are ranged weapons that are far too easy to use and are downright unfair for everyone else. However, for the time being, I'll discuss the ranged options I believe are balanced in Mordhau at the moment, and why they are fair against pure melee players. Anyone who has seen me play for a few games or just watch my montages knows that I main the recurve bow. It has the fastest fire rate of the three main ranged weapons, but has low damage for each hit. But the main thing to keep in mind is the projectile speed, which, while somewhat fast, is avoidable even when you are close to them. The fact that all ranged weapons in the game are projectile based rather than hit scan is arguably the biggest factor in balancing ranged weapons for slasher titles. It means that there is no guarantee that you'll hit your target even if your aim is on point. This is essentially my counter-argument to anyone who brings up the hypothetical scenario of someone with perfect or even just amazing aim being able to dominate servers with a bow. We could assume that someone with reflexes quick enough to react in less than a millisecond could dodge or block all of the arrows while closing the distance on him. In any case, both scenarios are unrealistic since human beings are flawed by nature and will always have limits. Another thing is that even if I hit my target, in many cases multiple times, it will not kill them straight away and likely won't even do much damage, especially if the player is wearing tier 3. You see in these clips I land headshots on multiple targets, but since they have tier 3 helmets, it only really does so much. Many times I rely on my team to finish the kills for me, and it's often why I have the highest assist count. Here I hit the same target multiple times, but it still isn't enough to bring him down. And hitting targets this often is rare when the enemy really knows how to dodge arrows. There's a reason why the majority of my engagements end in a melee fight. Balance issues do arise, however, when the projectile speed factor becomes too high. We see this with crossbowmen and especially longbowmen who don't even have to stand still to reload. For one thing, they are able to put themselves so far away from their targets that closing the distance on them is an absolute nightmare. By the time you are about to reach them, another wave of teammates are often by his side. And being so far away often isn't too detrimental to the longbowman's accuracy. And even if you are able to close the distance on him, dodging the fast arrows they shoot can be extremely difficult if not impossible. When you combine this with the fact that each shot will do more damage, it ensures that the target is often either dead or severely crippled to the point where one extra hit will bring them down. There's a reason why you will often find longbowmen dominating scoreboards with next to no deaths. Another argument archer haters like to make is that when they are in a fight with someone, that they are unable to dodge arrows at all, or at least not as effectively, meaning that they are more vulnerable. They argue that archers are overpowered because of this. The reason why I don't agree is because, firstly, you are still able to dodge arrows, albeit not as effectively as when it's just you and him. Players are generally unlikely to win when it's just them in 1vx scenarios, regardless of whether the team has archers or not. And archers are supposed to be a good support role anyway, when combined with a decent amount of melee. So even if they are better at 1vx, I don't really see a problem with that. That being said, you can still do a few things to prevent yourself from getting shot, such as positioning yourself behind cover, having a shield on your back for protection, or simply forcing the opponent between you and the archer, making it more likely he will hit his teammate. And that pretty much wraps up my points on the fairness of ranged weapons and slash titles. Feel free to share your own points on the topic in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next episode.